So Oracle 11G. So here we will be looking into the Oracle 11G. So before getting into that Oracle 11G, so let me tell something about the SQL. So SQL stands for Structured Query Language. There are various programming languages like C, C++, Java, C#, and so on. So these programming languages are used to make some applications, that is, some software. These applications will be having data in it. The data, for example, the applications like the ICICI bank portal, or some employee management system, some hospital management system, some reservation management system. So all these are some applications, that is software. For example, if you take that ICICI bank site, so this ICICI bank site will allow the customer to log in and operate. So he can transfer funds, he can make some check request, checkbook request, register mobile number, register email ID, and he can make many more things after logging in. So this is an application where it stores the customer data over there. So ICICI bank portal is storing all its thousands of customer accounts. Likewise, the employee management system. So the employee management system would be taking care of the employees that are hired, their contact details, qualification, education, experience, and their salaries. So the monthly salary, hourly basis paid salary, all these things. So it is taken care by that application, that is employee management system. So all the employee data, there will be thousands of employees. So all this data is handled by the application. And likewise, if you go to hospital management system, the hospital management system would be having the data that is related to the doctors, the patients, the various patients, under the category of diseases, and these doctors under various departments, and the heads, and the supervisors, all those things. So here all these are data. So every application will be having its own data. And these data like employee data, customer data, suppliers data, that is in hospital management system, the doctors, patients data, the student management system, if you take the students data. So all these data are stored in a repository, that is the database. So database. So you need to store all the customer data of an ICICI bank application into a particular repository. That repository is known as database. Alright. So you store that employee data, customer data, all those things in a repository. Then you need to fetch the data. Sometimes you need to insert a new employee into that data. Sometimes the employee that is existing in the database, his salary, if it is increased, then you need to update the salary. So you need to modify the data present in the database. So here you can do that using SQL, that is Structured Query Language. So Structured Query Language is used to communicate with the database, that is talk to the database. So the database generally has the data, employee data, customer data, all those kinds of data, and a language we need to communicate with those databases. That language is nothing but SQL. SQL we call it. So some others call it as SQL. So the spelling is SQL or SQL, both means the same. So Structured Query Languages. So we can create some new records over there. So record is nothing but an entire information of one particular employee can be treated as a record. So record of employee which has the employee name, first name, last name, employee date of birth, his age, designation, qualification, his salary, and his location, to which department he is working to, the address. All these things are pertaining to one particular employee can be treated as a record. So there will be some hundreds or thousands of records in one particular employee management system. So all these hundreds or thousands of records will be stored in the employee database, and that data can be accessed using this SQL. There are various databases available in the market. So I am going to list out some databases that are popular in the market. So the Oracle is the best one. Then likewise we have the SQL Server. So SQL Server is from Microsoft Corporation. Likewise MySQL. So MySQL, which is an open source product. Likewise DB2. So DB2 is from IBM. Then Sybase. Then Ingress. So all these are the popular databases. So like we have Postgres. So all these are various databases. Better they are called as RDBMS. So I write here RDBMS, that is Relational Database Management System. So those Oracle SQL Server are relational database management system. So I told you database is a repository, and that database can be managed by some program, that is DBMS, we say database management system. And currently relational databases are very popular. So what these relational databases are? If you look into the Excel sheet, the spreadsheet, that is Microsoft Office spreadsheet, you can store the data over there, and you can see the data is stored in rows and columns over there. So here in RDBMS, the data is stored in the form of rows and columns, that is in a tabular format. So that is why we call it as Relational Database Management System, RDBMS. So here you can see I listed the examples of the various RDBMS, and here when you get into each RDBMS, every RDBMS has its own SQL. So here its own SQL, and everything has its own SQL, because SQL is the language to communicate with those databases, that is the data present in those repositories. So here every RDBMS has SQL, and this SQL is of some standard, that is ANSI standard. So I will write here the ANSI standard, ANS, that is American National Standard Institute. So American National Standard Institute has proposed some standards. So here our SQL that is seen in various RDBMS also follows these ANSI standards. That is some standardized SQL. That is why if you are comfortable with one SQL, then you can work out with the other RDBMS SQL also, because they are following the ANSI standard. And we will follow the same SQL in our upcoming classes. So here, once you are comfortable with Oracle SQL, then if you get a chance to work on SQL Server with a little bit changes, you can understand the things present in SQL Server or MySQL or DB2, Sybase, Ingress, Postgres, because you have the knowledge and skill on Oracle, and you can extend that skill in using the SQL Server and understanding the basic things with SQL Server also. So we are looking into the Oracle, the popular database, SQL. So with SQL in Oracle, we also have pl-sql. So pl-sql. So this pl-sql is nothing but the programming language concepts are added to this SQL. Programming language concepts means in programming languages generally you might have seen those control structures, arrays, collections. So such a kind of control structures collections are seen in pl-sql, that is procedural language or programming language we say, that is an extension to SQL. So let me get into that things. So here is the word file. You can see here, before getting into this Oracle, you need to have some basic knowledge on operating system. Maybe Unix or some, I mean to say Windows environment is also enough. Then you need to have some basic knowledge on language, that is C language, because we are going to use those control structures in our pl-sql. Then RDBMS, that is Oracle SQL Server, we will look into this RDBMS. Operating system is an interface between the user and the hardware. So operating system resides on the hardware. The hardware like the processor, RAM, memory, all those things. Then this operating system insulates the other parts of the system from user. So here the printer, the hardware things, the scanner, all those things are attached to a computer and you are going to operate them using the operating system actually. You are not going to touch the scanner directly. Instead you will be accessing the application on that operating system. So this operating system forms a layer of software, that is collection of programs. Then it is the foundation for application development, that is you are going to develop applications using this operating system as a platform. Suppose you are comfortable with the C programming or Java programming, you may be writing these Java applications or C applications, .NET applications using a platform, that is an operating system. So in operating system there are various types of operating system. So character based operating system like Microsoft DOS, where you need to remember all the commands and you need to execute them to perform some tasks. So the old Unix is a character based operating system. Nowadays this Unix and Linux comes in both a CUI, that is character user environment, and graphical user environment also. This graphical user environment where you can see the windows and you can use a mouse to operate. So drag and drop facility, copy paste, and user friendly environment is seen in GUI based mode. So here you can see some examples under GUI based operating system, Windows 95, 98, NT 2000, so on. And so here there are single user operating systems and multi-user operating systems. So single user operating system will allow only a single user at a time. The examples are the DOS disk operating system we say, and Windows 95, 98. And multi-user operating systems will allow the multiple users to log in simultaneously. That is, multiple users can establish a connection with the platform simultaneously and they can work through. So there are some examples you can see, Windows NT, then Windows 2000, 2003, XP, Unix are examples for multi-user operating system. And when you get into languages, so in languages there are two types of languages. That is machine level language. So the machine level language is nothing but the zeros and ones. You can also call them as low level languages. So the assembly level language is an example for low level language which directly communicates with the hardware. Presently you might be using that C programming or the Java programming, which are high level languages actually used in application development. And you can see C is an example for high level language, likewise Java, SQL, these are high level languages. And this SQL which we are looking into is a fourth generation language actually. And here we are talking about some data, how we store, and the various things that are used in storing our data. Generally we store our data in files. So file, it is used to represent the information, the Word file or Excel file or a PPT PowerPoint presentation, it is used to represent the information. And the information represented would be in the form of bytes and characters actually, that is the stream of bytes. So the text is nothing but the stream of characters.
Likewise, you can add an image onto a Word file. That image is represented by bytes actually. And these files are managed by operating system. That is, file system is present in the operating system, and this operating system manages those files. That is, opening a file, editing the file, composing some document, then formatting it, then saving it in a particular location. All these are managed by operating system. So with these files, when you are able to store the data, you can go ahead with these files. But we are not using those files in our RDBMS. Instead, we are using those RDBMS, that is a tabular format. So we will be soon looking into the advantages of using those RDBMS compared to these files. So I told you that employee management system, hospital management system has the data, employee data, customer data, doctors, physicians, patients data, so students. So all these data can be stored in files actually. Instead of getting into those files, why are we opting for RDBMS? Because there are some security reasons. And to pull out the data from those databases by using these RDBMS would be very easy. So there are various reasons for that. So those reasons are nothing but the disadvantages of using the file system. So here you can see system, there are various disadvantages, and these disadvantages are treated as the basic things in our RDBMS. With the files, you can see the files does not support any type of data. When you go into type of data, there are character type of data, numeric type of data. In numeric type of data, we have integers, decimal numbers, and in character type of data, we have single character data and group of character data, that is strings. So the files does not support the various types of data. Everything is treated as general character in files. When you get into these programming languages and RDBMS, we have different types of data: integer, float, double, character, string, date. So all these data is represented by separate terms over there, so that managing them, controlling them would be easy. So files does not support such a kind of data types. Then it will not support error handling. So this error handling, files does not have this mechanism, error handling. So what this error handling or exception handling is? Let me explain you one scenario. Suppose you are going to use your RDBMS or a Java programming language. In your program, you are opening a file present in a D drive or E drive. So assume there is a notepad, a text file in the D drive, E drive, and there is some data in it. In your program, you are going to open that file and use that file. So you are going to read the data present in that file, and you are going to make some processing on that data, and finally you are going to use the result. So this is the scenario assume. So here your program is trying to open that file in that particular location, and it processes the data successfully. One fine day, for some reason, one of your friends deleted that file assume. Now when you execute that program, it tries to open that file from that location where that file is not existing during that execution, because somehow that file was deleted from that path. During that time, your program will handle such a situation where the file is not found. So it displays some relevant message to the user, whoever is operating that program or executing that program, that so and so file is not available in that location. It displays. That is such a kind of error or exception where that is a tendency. A program is trying to open a file from a particular location, and that file got deleted for some reason, and your program continuously keep trying to find such a file. During that time, your program gets hanged or it crashes sometimes. So to avoid that crashing or hanging, a programming language supports exception handling or error handling mechanism. So such a file, if it is not available in that location, then immediately it displays a message, so and so file is not available in that location. So that is what exception handling or error handling. Such error handling or exception handling is not possible with file system. Whereas with the RDBMS, like Oracle or any kind of database, we have a separate mechanism called exception handling mechanism. So this is one of the advantage